Prince Harry almost ignored fateful call about Queen's health, but Meghan urged him to answer it. Prince Harry almost ignored a fateful phone call that let him know the late Queen was in her final hours, and only answered due to Meghan Markle, a new book has claimed. An excerpt from a new book called Endgame, by royal biographer Omid Scobie, says on the day the former monarch died last year, Harry received a phone call from his father King Charles informing him his grandmother was gravely ill. But it explains that Harry almost dismissed the call from the unknown number as he usually ignored those. However, the passage says that Meghan told Harry he should answer, and it was the call they had been dreading. The late Queen was in her final hours, and that the Duke of Sussex should race to Balmoral to say goodbye. In the book being serialized in People magazine, Mr. Scobie writes claims, the Sussexes had no idea that Buckingham Palace was already planning for the Queen's final hours and the first days of the monarchy's new era, until the Duke's phone started ringing. An unknown number. He usually ignored those. You should answer it, Meghan told him. He tapped accept just before it stopped. Harry hadn't spoken to his father much that year, but this was not the time for any father and son tension. Charles told him he and Camilla were about to leave Dumfries House for Balmoral, where Princess Anne was already by the Queen's side. He told Harry to make his way to Scotland immediately. Meanwhile, the new book also alleges that Harry was left crushed. He did not find out about the late Queen's death until after it had been announced to the world, and that this would have gone against the late Queen's wishes. When Elizabeth II died on September 8 last year, it was initially reported that Charles personally called Harry to tell him the news about his late grandmother. However, in his bombshell memoir Spare, Harry contests this and says that he found out about her passing by reading about it on the BBC News website once he disembarked a flight to Aberdeen on his way to travelling to Balmoral, where the late Queen died. Mr. Scobie writes, Harry was crushed, said a friend of the Duke. His relationship with the Queen was everything to him. She would have wanted him to know before it went out to the world. They could have waited just a little longer. It would have been nothing in the grand scheme of things, but no one respected that at all. Endgame will be released at the end of this month, and is described on Amazon as a penetrating investigation into the current state of the British monarchy. The book's description goes on to say, an unpopular king, a power-hungry heir to the throne, a queen willing to go to dangerous lengths to preserve her image, and a prince forced to start a new life after being betrayed by his own family. In his latest book, the writer, who was one of the authors of the Sussexes' biography Finding Freedom, pulls back the curtain on an institution in turmoil, in a bid to show what the monarchy must change in order to survive. Endgame, which will be published on November 28, is subtitled, Inside the Royal Family and the Monarchy's Fight for Survival. Publisher HarperCollins previously said the book will have the world talking, and Mr. Scobie said it will reveal moments that royals should be ashamed of. The headings of chapters include, Shaky Ground, The Queen is Dead, The Monarchy Faces Trouble, The Fall of Prince Andrew, Scandal, Shame and Silencing Jane Doe, Race and the Royals, Institutional Bigotry and Denial, Gloves On, Prince William, Heir to the Throne, and Gloves Off, Prince Harry, Man on a Mission. It was due to be published in August, but the date was pushed back to include events surrounding the King's coronation. A publishing source in America said, the word is this is going to have bombshell after bombshell. Some are even speculating it may name the person who questioned what color Archie's skin would be. Everyone knows Omid is the Sussexes' unofficial mouthpiece, so it's fair to say there will be a huge deal of interest in this book on both sides of the Atlantic.